Well, I just like you gotta take photos with it. Probably wouldn't be that good.
No, I'm taking a video with this. Check. Can y'all hear me all right?
Oh yeah.
All right, cool. My name is A.S. Coomer. I'm a poet and a novelist and musician. We do this reading once a month. It's usually on the first Sunday, but due to scheduling conflicts, sometimes isn't. It's easy just to add me on Facebook or something. I'll keep you in the loop of when we're doing this. Let's take a moment before we start to reflect on the fact that we're on stolen land, Cherokee, Shawnee, and Chickasaw. Alright, this is a safe space for poetic expression. This isn't a place for bigotry of any kind. There will be no jeering or heckling. We are a supportive community, god damn it. We're here because we believe in the power of the word. Let's help elevate not only our own words, but the words of all our fellow poets. We don't believe in censorship. Content warnings for especially sensitive material are appreciated. We've got an open mic sign-up sheet over here, right next to the red top container full of cookies. If you want to sign up, you can get a cookie. If you want to just hear some poems, we'll let you have a cookie. All right. First up, we got Jonathan S. Baker. Jonathan S. Baker lives and writes in Evansville, Indiana. Their work can be found in many print and online journals. The most recent collection of poems was America the Beautiful from Crying Heart Press. They are the editor-in-chief of Sleeze Press and host of Poetry Speaks, Indiana's longest-running and most prestigious poetry series. Everybody, Jonathan S. Baker.
Thank you, everybody. Before I get started, I just want to say that despite a lot of internet propaganda to say the otherwise, I think that humans in general are good. I think most of us are good, and I think getting together like this in person is good, and making connections and enriching each other is good. And on that note, I've got some books over here you can take a look at. And connect and enrich each other by picking up these books down here. All right, I'm going to start with a poem that I like. It's not mine. It's by a man named Mage Reagan. He was an Ohio poet. This poem speaks to me. I just want to read this. Beating Back the Crocodile by Mage Reagan. In defense of Cleveland headbanger poet Dick Head, who was hauled out of a poetry reading by 5 university policemen because of his disorderly conduct and profanity. In primitive religions, they are called ritual clowns. They belong to the Fool's Lodge or the Society of Contraries and could be trusted to do what they shouldn't. And through such violation, they take on magical power. Celebrants who often wore the mask of anger. The Zuni clowns drank bowls full of urine and fed on excrement and all sorts of filthy matter. They ridiculed people without mercy. From his birth, Koshari, father of the Saya clowns, talked backwards nonsense, a contrary who said and did the opposite of what he meant. He would express his love for you by cursing you and then kicking your butt. In the cathedral towns of France, the clowns overturned the mass. Blessings were made not with holy water, but with pudding and sausages. Sometimes an ass was led into the church. Solemn mass was marked with brays and howls. The celebrant himself brayed 3 times and directed the worshipers to respond in kind. The staff of holy office was handed to one of the lowly in the congregation, who in turn led his fellows, the crazy, the stupid, the sick, into the stalls of the higher clergy, to remain there smiling the fool's smile down on the assembled. One of his other forms is Coyote. Coyote is nobody's ally, and he won't play checkers, he don't read books, he tells it all around that poetry is a bunch of shit. Coyote won't go away. He shows up around the edge of camps and goes through the garbage. He talks garbage, He catches chickens and dogs and whatever else he can trick into standing still. Whatever he eats, he makes a mess. He believes in messes. Coyote's got a bunch of kids strung all over the country, every one of them foul-mouthed. He doesn't love any of them, but he's taught them all one good trick, and it's an old one. How to steal people's assholes without their knowing it. You won't discover it's gone until you get home, and then it's too late. Even if you catch one of those coyote pups in the act and dump his bag full of assholes on the ground, all assholes look pretty much the same. How could you ever find your own among all the others? But even if they look alike, only your asshole will fit you. You understand the predicament. It's nothing you can figure your way out of. Coyote refuses to leave the premises. The authorities club him to death, put him in handcuffs, skin his carcass, and up he jumps with a fuck you and skips away yelping. Coyote teaches his kids to talk shit and be ugly. Coyote don't say, oh, I like your poem. May I have a copy? Coyote don't say, come to my house and I'll fix you dinner. Coyote don't say, I'll be yours if you be mine. Coyote's kids never wash where it counts. They mess with the calendar and get the months so jumbled up you can't remember where you parked your car. Or if you do, you come back to find it gone and you call the cops and they don't know what's going on. And they call the paramedics because some old man is lying on the ground on the sidewalk, holding his chest, turning blue, and just as they bring the stretcher, up jumps Coyote with a fuck you and runs down the street laughing, and the ambulance won't start, and the cops' guns won't fire, and a lady bystander is suddenly with a four-legged child with a policeman's asshole as a wedding ring. There is no place for Coyote anymore. Too many tall buildings and hard streets, everything lighted up and in motion. The Zuni women used to walk out into the fields and wait for him. Now everybody is after Coyote's hide. You've got to hide. You're in trouble too. You are what you catch. If you had a heart like his, you'd see him here right now. You'd see me as I am. Take Coyote's eyes out of his head, put them in yours. I don't look like this. I look more like a tree than a man. Branches thrown out all around me, reaching. More like luminous egg than a man. Fired by an odd and brief light, stood up on the pointed end at equinox. About to tip toward, not away from you. Coyote tells me I look like you. Why do you buy clothes? To hide from me? You better pay attention to his curses. What is he trying to tell you? He bangs his head into the walls till the walls ring. Can you do that for yourself? You better stand up for the stupid and crazy, or Coyote and his kids will go away for good. Then you'll be left with the crocodile. Why don't you get a good job, buy some new clothes, get some equity, go talk it over with Coyote, brush your teeth, wash your face, go breathe your clean breath on Coyote. Write him a poem, give him some money, tell him you know who he is, a sweet child of freedom, the king who won't die. Tell him he is a concealment yet a revolution, and he'll go tell you to fuck yourself. How many times does he have to say it? Go fuck yourself, before you stop talking and try it. It doesn't work. It never has. It's not supposed to. Now try something else, laughs Coyote, running away. If I was a time traveler, I would run wildly, madly back in time, screaming, no, don't go, do not go, until I got all the way back to that first little guy who got up the nerve to rise from the ocean, and I would bend down and put my finger in his fishy little face and tell him, they're going to find a way to make you pay for that water. It just wouldn't work. You are in love with your best friend. She is a goddess. You are wildly, madly drawn to her, enamored, really. She is the archetype of lust and love. She is Aphrodite, product of a titan's sex organs and the sea. And you're a Presbyterian. I just wanted to do shoot off my head, show off.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. My baby is the goddess of time and death. And I'm her Mahatma daddy. My baby is 100 miles tall and has 3 fiery red eyes set in each of her 10 gorgeous faces. Eyes that she rolls when I smack the sweet cheek of one of her 5-toned turquoise asses, and I tell her to get her 10 barefoot feet back in the kitchen and fix me us a glass of whatever she's been drinking. My baby drinks blood red wine from a bowl till her tongues hang like vines, and she swings her 4 arms, keeping tempo for the world for all time. My baby knows what I like because she created my desires back in the beginning when there was nothing, and I want what she wants me to want just the way that I want it till the ending when there's nothing. My baby adorns herself in 108 skulls of conquered foes and a skirt of woven demon arms that hides just enough to keep me hopeful. And when my baby gets down, I just lay myself right in her way and wait for the stomp of one of her 50 angry blue toes kicking my stupid pale face. And this is how we keep it together. She laughs, and I'll laugh, and we forget to fight and forget to cry, and we hold on to each other all the way to the Kali Yuga. How am I doing on time?
You got like 5 to 7 minutes.
Oh, cool. Getting out of here. Stand at the crossroads and stretch your arms out as far as you can. Past your doubts, past your fears, into the darkness through the mountains until your fingers just barely brush the shores of both the Pacific and the Atlantic. And stay just like that until you feel your muscles burning. Stay just like that until you start to tremble. And when you finally give in and drop your arms, all your old high school friends will talk shit about you. Not because you failed, but because you dared to try. Los Tejedores. Listen, I give some of my poems titles in languages I don't speak, and then I just mangle them. It's kind of an asshole move, probably. But Los Tejedores is Spanish for roofers. So there we go. There's a roofing crew above the street where my morning starts, and they are blasting Mexican radio, ranchero accordions chased by an excitable DJ speaking. And it makes me so happy to hear it. Because the Hispanic kids aren't playing in the yards anymore, and their abuelas won't come to the door to sign for their packages. The military is being sent into cities to make them less interesting, and the news keeps showing the same picture of a burning robot taxi. There are children in Missouri waiting to see if their father is going to be sent to a country they have never been to. And men and women who have never left their own hometowns are cheering this on. So I'm thankful that up above, where the sun shines, there is music playing in joyful rebellion against this dreadful homogeny. The mythic origins of well-to-do suburbs. After a morning sun knocks out the street light, yellow buses pick up the night. Paper boys throw new days, garbage men haul away the dead. God in his bathrobe and beard stubble drags out the white poodles to give it all they've got. Little trembling cotton fists clenched on the edge of the lawn, bearing down to drop steaming piles of the neighborhood, one morning dump at a time. The brutal sameness of American culture. If you've seen one mall, you've seen them all. If you've seen one mall, you've seen them all. I am disappointed in the landscape across thousands of miles of highway. A fractal image spun out from 1950s marketing guys and repainted every decade till every repeated pattern matched. The car window is just a screen with graphics populated by a lazy algorithm, coded efficiently and cheaply. Simple palette swaps over reused models, brand new like new, the American homogeny, driven by recursion ever westward wagons ho. Middle ground mediocre manifest destiny, washed out technic colonization, faded pale faces clone stamped across the continental canvas. It's a melting pot of perpetual stew. All the chunky bits are turned to mush. The flavors are on mute, overpowered by static. The hamburgers are the same, the pizza is the same, even the Mexican and Chinese places are all the same. I can safely order either a chili poblano or General Tso's combo anywhere between the Pacific and the Atlantic. I've eaten at a Texas Roadhouse in Texas. It was just like the one in Indiana. I'm nostalgic for radicals that rose out of hard times and oppression. I am shamefully thankful for their hard times. They went through hell, so I don't have to. But they did write a lot of pretty songs and told some funny jokes. I'm not saying it was worth it, but I can't imagine a world without a history of violence, so I will be solemn when called for, and remember the people that stood out and took a beating for it. Thankfully, there will always be boundaries to push, limits to be tested, rules to be broken. Utopia exists in the space between freedom and the fall. I'm looking forward to the changes, anything to shake this brutal sameness. Human, a mail carrier, age 45, divorced, living in the Midwest, enjoys contemporary folk rock, has a dog, smokes cigarettes, doesn't drink, susceptible to hypnotic suggestion, full head of hair, blue eyes, 6 foot tall, a bit overweight, kind of jumpy, preoccupied with the fear that he is subconsciously driven by deep-seated racial biases, likes to dance, reads poetry, urinates in public sinks as an act of rebellion, drives an American car, votes for the lesser of two evils, no kids, girlfriend stays over a couple of nights a week, takes the standard deduction, hasn't prayed since he was a kid, dreams of mortality regularly, nightmares where the teeth fall out, where the skin peels like paint, that sort of thing, owns a handgun, donates to charity, tries their best, versus the weight of the feather of a river crane. Baby, these mushrooms make me feel like a real fun guy. Is it getting hot in here? Is this a wave coming on? I think you and me and the whole of creation are vibing. Can you hear it? Can you feel it? Put your hand on my tuning fork and tune in with me. I like the song I see, the way your features hover a fraction from the surface, floating in aimless circles, like leaves on the pool of you, like comets in the pull of you. We should take off our skeletons and then writhe together like brightly colored sea creatures drawn to the shore by the tides and the moonlight. Let our bodies ripple across the sand like spilled mercury. Reincarnation. I think this is my last one. I am trying to live the best life for myself, and if you don't like it, I will try to do better next time. I will remember that Samantha expects me to be available for phone calls. When I am an ant crawling across the forest floor, just one of a million ants walking in a row, I will keep it in mind that if Sam calls, I must drop this leaf and answer my phone. I'm sorry I couldn't always take your call this time round. I should not allow for my family, my work, to come between myself and what you had to say. Know that when I have moved on to a new body and existence, before even the queen of the colony, you will come first. I will try to do better next time. I will remember that simply my continuing existence bothers my neighbor Richard. When I am a lichen on a rock somewhere in Denali, I will understand the hours I kept. The people that came and went from my home are just not up to Richard's high standards. I let the grass grow too high. I will keep in mind that whatever Richard imagines happens behind the closed doors of my private residence aggravates him infinitely. So in the next life, when a dull sheep is licking at the scum that I am, consuming me for nutrients in those harsh environs, I will do what most approximates self-reflection for a complex life form made up of both a fungus and an algae. I will try to realize that this is what is best for Richard. I deserve this. After endless cycles of rebirth, repeating your oh so constructive criticisms again and again on a loop in my many minds, perhaps I will be released from this existence and finally reach nirvana, all thanks to you and your kind insights. But until then, I will try to do better next time. Thank you again. Down over here, we've got Tickets to Midnight. Arizona and I run a small press. That's our anthology that we put out. We've got a few copies there. The black cover book is poems of mine that if you didn't like what I read, they're actually different poems. So there you go. And then the third book there is an anthology that a friend of mine had me read a collection of his short stories to write a blurb for it. And one of the stories was about a trumpet player. And I was like, hey, do you want to, I have this story about a piano player. And he was like, I have another story about a piano player. And I was like, we should reach out to people who have stories about piano players and get a book published together. And so that's a collection of short stories about piano players. And it is called In the Mood for a Melody. I had to look because it just came out recently and I didn't do much of the work. But it's there. Everybody, thank you for your time. Thank you to the establishment. Thank you to Drew. Thank you.
Evansville's finest, y'all. That was Jonathan S. Baker. All right, next up we got Patty Cooper Wells. Patty Cooper Wells revels in the creative space where painting, writing, and music overlap. Her poems have been included in poetry anthologies at Keeping the Flame Alive Press. I think they're in the house. Yeah. And then also Cajun Mutt Press. 2 of her short stories included in America's Haunted Road Trip by Clerisy Press. Her poetic inspirations are the Transcendentalists, the Imagists, and the Beats. She draws much inspiration from her native southern Indiana/Ohio Valley landscape. She's also a visual artist. Everybody put your hands together for Patty Cooper Wells.
Well, I had to leave all my musician friends at home, so I brought some music with me. I come from Madison, Indiana, which fashions itself as Indiana's music city, so we've been forwarding the cause of poetry through adding music to the mix, and the songwriters and everybody has been coming together. It's been pretty cool. So, several of my poems I was going to read today are, I've got 2 or 3 new ones here. A couple of them are kind of marking a couple of centennials this year. We've got the 100th birthday of Neil Cassidy and also Allen Ginsberg. For Alan. Sounding okay here? You hear me? It is sounding. Bearded poet, you who danced across the pages of my books with Blakean visions, you who embraced the luminous vortex with abandon, might you have been the reincarnation of Walt Whitman? singing songs of yourself beyond time. O bearded poet, you who acknowledge the brilliant light of the bitter and battered Ezra Pound. You who howled in intellectual despair across McCarthy-era America, shouting that everything was in fact holy, holy, holy. You who chanted sutras about the cocks of the grandfathers of Kansas, songs only found on a hydrogen jukebox. You who joyfully turned the great wheel of Dharma and holy poetry and shouted naked running through the angry streets at dawn. You who playfully led a generation singing freedom to begin the 1960s. Who exclaimed that the only real madness was the atomic bomb. You who fell in love with the great muse Neil Cassidy and dropped out with Dr. Timothy Leary. You who turned us on to Dharma bums and naked lunch. It has been a century since you were born. A poet, prophet in this weary earth. You proclaiming the supernatural, extra brilliant, intelligent kindness of the soul. Were you silenced forever on your skeletal deathbed? Oh no, transformed beyond bardos of existence. A bodhisattva now, so powerfully spinning the dharma of poetry, truth, and love. Yes, that is the greatest poem of all. Sound okay? Esoteric child's play. I capture these thoughts like lightning bugs in a jar, bits of electricity to form lightning insight. Double door jay, cosmic four-leaf clover, not so rare. You just gotta look around. I know things without explanation. Yet, I can't explain what I don't know. Wisdom is an organic thing, and the creative force is holy. It flows through us all if we let it. We learn, then we forget, over and over. Who is this in the mirror? When you're briefly aware that you don't know, that's when you've got it. Can a painting show it? Can a poem hint at the vastness of it all? Esoteric child's play. A wizard dreams. I awoke that morning and everything had changed, and I had changed. But the magic of the mind remains the same. And I dance on a canopy of stars, and I dream upon the river, and wish upon the flowers, and explore the woods from my window. Just then, I can turn the gears of the universe in kaleidoscopic glory, the fractal fabric of time, and I am whole again. Haven't rehearsed that one much. The Muse, they go for Neil Cassidy's 100th birthday. Born on the road, angel sent, his very spirit, the call of the West. And so love goes, and so life goes, and so he goes. Go, go, go. Time waits for no man. The time is now, the time is now, the time is now. Adopted by the ragged men that taught him hobo wisdom, truth and life, down and out beat truth. And so life goes. Freedom is the wind. Living life is the art. and the muse did go. Folks thought him mad, crazy, wild. He was a jail kid, shrouded in mystery, hungry for books and acceptance, seeking what he already had. A natural poet, intuitive, the practical, creative force, unnameable, not found in books. And the poets did learn from him, and the muse did go, 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 go. And so art goes. Time waits for no man. They say he died along the railroad tracks, like a hobo in the cold night, but he merely sleeps to dream. The time is now. The time is now. The time is now, Cowboy Neil. Mythic, wild trickster wisdom, speeding across the American landscape into infinity. I went too fast like Neil would. Okay. The tattered flag. Everywhere I look, I see the flag in tatters on every porch and pole. One wonders what battle took place in the big towns and cities, on these sleepy country roads and genteel main streets of America. Leading up to this bleak 250th anniversary, as the tatters flap in the wind, we all wonder why this karmic disaster came to pass. As the great Shawnee prophet nods to see his curse has landed upon a people that curse themselves. As great eclipses come and go, like great men and women casting shadows upon the land, that shudders and shakes in disbelief that that old flag was not stitched too tight to start with. The most interesting thing about artists is how they live. Marcel Duchamp, my hero. This poem is dedicated to my friends, my kind of people. I know my tribe when we meet, or just pass on the street. Young or old is much the same, my kind of people. My kind of people walk differently, speak differently, dress differently. They make their own style, they make their own world. They baffle society, yet are essential. My kind of people emerge with mussed hair and bathrobe, and unassuming afternoon morning sleepiness onto the sidewalk to greet humanity. They live in ramshackle bohemian, dusty cobweb splendor with eclectic objects and art. My kind of people have books stacked in precarious floor-to-ceiling leaning towers, miniature cities populated by cats and philosophers. My kind of people have their priorities in order. They perpetually have one foot in the next world. My kind of people would rather be dead than live an everyday cookie-cutter subdivision Muzak American nightmare lifestyle. My kind of people quote Twain, Whitman, Hess, Shakespeare, and Chuck Berry all in one breath. They have the perception of Sherlock Holmes and the intuition of the Oracle of Delphi. My kind of people text me 3 a.m. poems midnight rhapsodies and sketchbook painting experiments. They have fevered dreams that will put Dali on notice as they tread the bardo of consciousness and out-of-body experience. My kind of people call me up randomly while taking a piss midstream, expressing their ardent appreciation for my art. They live on Delta blues, coffee, and visions. They eat synchronicity for breakfast and tiptoe on imagination. My kind of people are obsessed with the details of unfathomable subjects as they draft books and rambling histories. They're captivated by cinema. Silver screen scenes flicker and play behind their eyelids. The camera is the extension of their eye for composition and light. Tintype scenarios, Kodachrome Nikon dreams, and iPhone obscura. My kind of people collect stares and double takes as they walk their dog on Main Street at 11:11 a.m. with a parrot on their shoulder and invisible angels by their side. They plant wild gardens and host mad tea parties amongst the butterflies. They send Victorian correspondence with flourish and wear charming top hats. My kind of people construct fanciful creatures from driftwood and flotsam in constant creative collaboration with the river. They spend a lifetime creating art of spirit and transformation that they hoard like heaven's treasure, anticipating someday releasing those healing powers upon an ailing world. My kind of people haunt libraries, cemeteries, attics, and grottos, hungry for discoveries and contemplation. My kind of people fall in love at first sight with the Selmore tenor Mark VI saxophone of their dreams, found patiently waiting in a lonely Baltimore music shop, intending to play happily ever after. My kind of people drink from mason jars and play chess, while grooving on avant-garde jazz, the rest of the world be damned. My kind of people joyfully create meandering mixtapes and meticulous playlists as they dance with the band into the night. My kind of people spin vinyl in 78 RPM precious discs on starry Victrola and stereo dream machines. My kind of people know Vincent van Gogh on a first-name basis. They follow Bob Dylan and Jack Kerouac down the highway of time. My kind of people paint splendid work they have no intention of ever selling, with colors that run from their minds to their fingers, dripping from elbows onto pages and canvases, running down gutters into the street in vibrant narratives. My kind of people photograph and draw and paint and write about only 10% of the beauty they see. My kind of people enact dramas and theatrical monologues and find all the world as their stage. My kind of people write infinite notebook journals of thoughts and songs and poems populating pages of mind. They shout poems from rooftops and bare their souls and humanity to the indifferent and clueless masses. My kind of people have the courage to look the 14th Dalai Lama of Tibet in the eye and swear to never give up, keeping that promise with a bountiful and compassionate heart. My kind of people drift down the river, gaze upon the sea, climb mountains and cliffs to renew their spirit. My kind of people pedal their blues away to Vivaldi's Four Seasons while sporting a British pith helmet. They walk their imaginary pet alligators while planning their next shadow puppet escapade. My kind of people drift around the world like carefree gypsies, living in yurts in fairy-infested forests on nothing but hope and imagination. My kind of people talk to the trees and the animals, even the rocks. All the world is sentient to my kind of people. My kind of people strum $100,000 vintage guitars they bought cheap 50 years ago and drive rusting junk trucks. They slumber under leaky roofs, never worrying about the rain. They grow their beards into oblivion, refusing to cut their hair as they rave on like John the Baptist or retreat into Zen solitude. My kind of people have pedaled their bikes across the Golden Gate Bridge, drank with poet Jack Micheline, and been anointed by the cosmic feathers of Janis Joplin's feather boa. My kind of people have wrestled bears, served homemade bread and dandelion wine, and hoe their garden in the nude. My kind of people dance in pork pie hat and white glove splendor to scat bebop jazz while painting in search of eternity. My kind of people paint their lips fire engine red, dancing and painting and writing in a whirlwind of their own creation across the continent in their youth, still a force of nature and old age. My kind of people prefer to spend their spare money on books instead of the hairdresser, which they end up giving to the poor instead, walking through life with pure love and faith and contentment. My kind of people are kind when no one is looking. They are the Good Samaritan. My kind of people have painted their dream from small town Indiana to Thailand with paintbrushes clenched in their teeth, leaving Nova color wheel tracks and joy in their wake. My kind of people have fabulous adventures, traveling abroad or just staying in their hometown. They've hitchhiked America's highways, rode the rails, worked riverfront and circus in hot sun, pouring rain, snow and mud. They have pursued their dreams, met their heroes, tasted sacred mystery, witnessed history. They embark on new adventures relentlessly, seeking truth and beauty. Whether at the beginning or end of their journey, my kind of people have their priorities in order. They perpetually have one foot in the next world. My kind of people are forever young old souls. They are timeless. I know my tribe when we meet or just pass on the street. Young or old, it's much the same. My kind of people, my kind of people. Thank you very much. All those are real people in Madison.
One more time for Patty Cooper Wells, y'all. And the last of our features, if I can get this microphone to stay put. Last of our features is Christine, who is Indiana's Beat Poet Laureate from 2025 to 2027. That's a big deal. Chris is a storyteller, graphic designer, and magpie poet who writes from the heart of Indiana, where they live with their husband and too many cats to mention. They are the co-founder and managing editor of Keeping the Flame Alive Press, which publishes bi-monthly magazine as well as the Keeping the Flame Alive book series. They are a two-time Pushcart Prize nominee, co-founder of Gonzo Fest New York 2026, which I'll be going. Y'all should be going. It's going to be fun. And they featured across the Midwest. Their work has been featured online in multiple print anthologies, and they are the author of 3 full-length books, which you should buy. First one is Tales from a Broken Girl. Second one is We're All Stories in the End. And the last one is Pyre. Everybody put your hands together, Christine.
Introducing. I'm just a really awkward person from Columbus, Indiana, but it's nice to meet you guys. I woke up tired, needing to brush the taste of not good enough off my tongue. My legs ached from years of chasing success, and my head ached from wondering what that even was. I looked at my reflection in the mirror, but it looked as lost as I felt. So I filled my pockets and took a walk among the stones, looking for guidance from the dead. I sat for a while under a tree, staring at worn markers whose names and dates have been lost to the passing of time and the elements. I asked the inhabitants if we're truly gone when we're forgotten, afraid I'd one day be unknown dust like them. Kneeling here, stooping there, I left rocks, beads, and feathers, hoping to trade my trinkets to these impartial observers for whatever wisdom they gained when they lost the flesh from their bones. One by one, I asked them if they knew how to answer questions I didn't even know how to ask myself. I poured out fears and insecurities, hoping to find that one key to unlock the door to more. Despite my offerings, each one answered the same: silence. I stood for a while watching the movement of leaves on a windless day, wondering if maybe they were answering and I'd just forgotten how to listen. After a while, I found a shady corner and leaned against the chilly wrought iron fence, simply sharing my breath with those who no longer had breath of their own. In that moment, it seemed the most appropriate conversation to have among those stones, and I allowed myself to relax into it. No more questions, no answers, just a living ghost and the non-speaking dead. After a while, a breeze picked up, brushed my cheek, tickled my ear. I could almost imagine a voice like brittle leaves rubbing against dried bones. Sharing time, it said, space and breath is all we have to do to be remembered, and the only offering any of us need give, the living or the dead. Standing with hands in now empty pockets, wanting to believe it was true, needing to believe it was enough, I asked the silence one final thing. Is it really possible to stop chasing? Or do we just bury it all in our souls and become our own walking graves? And thank you so much for inviting me to be here today, Drew, and Flywheel for this gorgeous space. It is one of my favorite places to read. It's just the energy and the people are amazing. But,
You're always welcome.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. So I'm assuming most people have, they're like, communities have message boards on Facebook, and I'm an idiot. Every morning I wake up and I will open it to see what's going on in the community and whisper those fateful words. Just give me a little faith in people, please. This poem is called Community Message Board. My fractured city, my broken state. Who have we become? This Athens of the prairie that's come to symbolize the death of democracy instead of honoring the place of its birth, where we cheer the use of a child as bait for lives and skin that are different from our own, while the ghost of Stevenson haunts our reasons, wearing the white sheets barely hidden in our words, where we make jokes about Minneapolis side by side with declarations about how much Jesus loves, and have more complaints about the drive-thru at McDonald's than concern for people unhoused and dying in the cold, where we care more about reproductive biology and bathroom assignment than who can afford to eat in our schools, and we judge books by their covers to promote bans and burnings because we need to keep our children's thoughts pure, where our politics and people are red and white respectively. Only the Colts are blue, a microcosm of the crossroads of America, but the ones where deals are struck at midnight for souls. My fractured city, my broken state. Who will we become? The sins of our fathers, the obedience of our mothers, or silent subjects to those who claim power and control in the name of their God. This one's called Tell Me I'm Wrong. You tell me I must love the earth my neighbors, myself, the weak, the assholes, the ones who curse my name. I have to be the bigger person with an open heart, open mind, open hand, always open to another's point of view. Always, above all else, with unconditional love. But what if my love took the long way home, remembers, and refuses to let another human walk through that same hell? What if my love can't walk softly, never learned how to whisper, and says, try me and find out? What if my love has wings, brass knuckles, and a flaming sword, and offers forgiveness and acceptance of self first? If my love doesn't look like your love, is that the one you'll tell me is wrong?
Yes.
This last one's called the Wood Wide Web because I am a science nerd, so enjoy science, you. I just learned about the Wood Wide Web, a term coined to describe the way trees communicate through a network of underground mushroom filaments. Through this web, trees can send out chemical and electrical signals to warn the others when they're sick or under attack. Older mother trees are alerted when saplings are in trouble and can share their nutrients and water with those caught in drought or struggling in too much shade. Because of this network, when one tree is cut down, the whole forest feels the loss. And occasionally the remaining trees will work together just to keep the stump alive. All of these things make the Wood Wide Web my favorite thing I have learned in years. Because people aren't that different from trees. We have roots that run deep and filaments of connection, linking us to each other, allowing us to feel the needs of even those we can't see. Like the trees and mushrooms, people are symbiotic, depending on one another not to just live, but to thrive. And in this technical age, that energy isn't only local. Our forest now stretches around the globe. Recently, my roots have been on fire, and there are days I am overwhelmed by the amount of signals and distress calls burning through the ground. And they are asking us to remember, we are all mother trees, and it's our job to nurture, to protect our collective humanity, and ensure that it doesn't just live, but thrives. And not to wait until all we have left is keeping a stump alive. Thank you guys so much.
That was Christine, y'all. Yeah. All right, so we've got 6 people on the sign up sheet. Is there anybody else who would like? Okay. We're going to take about a 5-minute break. I'm going to put the sign up sheet right by these cookies. So sign up and grab cookies, and we'll be back in 5 minutes. Also, talk to these poets about their books. They're amazing poets, and their books are amazing, and they would love to talk to you about them.
I think it's raisin on this side and then chocolate chip and raisin on this side. Okay.
Well, let's hope I get one with mostly chocolate chip.
It's just one big chocolate chip with like one big
I wouldn't consider that a cookie though. I almost consider that like a Hershey Kiss.
Sprinkle some butter inside.
Dude, have they tried deep fried cookie dough?
When I was living in Whiteville, at Hillary, they had deep fried Kool-Aid.
I'm also a life coach and we're
They had deep fried peanut butter jelly sandwiches.
I bet that's delicious.
And they had deep fried chocolate covered bacon.
Okay.
They had but like the Kool-Aid was like just like little crackers. Little crackers where they just drop the Kool-Aid into a deep fryer, just scooped out the.
one of the things I love is getting
I don't know about that one.
I did not eat this.
buying books when I can and just
I don't know.
learning from
A
other
deep fried cookie sounds amazing.
improving my craft as well.
Step out real quick, get back.
Okay.